What's going on, guys? This is RichaadEB here, and today I am bringing you week 1 of the PPL. Now, I haven't done a team builder and I won't be doing team builders for this season because I do not have the time. So instead, I'm going to do a brief team analysis before we start. It'll be very short though, hopefully, if I can remember to stop rambling. Before I get into that though, first thing you need to talk about is PPL channel. There's power rankings, there's weekly recaps, all that kind of stuff that will be uploaded over there, so I implore you to go check that out. There'll also be the links to every single PPL coach in the description, so make sure you go check all of those out as well. Lastly, there is a t-shirt shop, Teespring or something like that, link in the description for the PPL online shop where you can buy t-shirts like this lovely one. And all of that money goes back into helping the PPL grow, at least all the money from my shirts. So if you want to see more PPL content, more better quality content, then that's the way to contribute. Now, getting into this, we have our first week's game against Jolt. If you want to check out my draft, I did upload a draft analysis a little while ago. There's also a full draft stream on that PPL channel, as I mentioned. Now, Jolt has a very, very threatening team. Like, his matchup just destroys me. So the mons I chose not to bring were Serena, Quillfish, and Togedemaru. The mons that Jolt could bring are the 6 you can see on the screen there: the Thunderous, Slowbro, Registeel, Clefable, Decidueye, and Diggersby. He also had on his team, let me just get that up for you, he had Talonflame, he had a Diglett, which I honestly didn't expect. Talonflame I was sort of iffy on, because you might want to switch into particular things, but Diglett I didn't really expect, so there's nothing on my team that he really needed to trap. Also, the Slowbro is a Mega Slowbro, I should have mentioned that. He has a Hitmontop, he has an Ordino, and he has a Drapion. So, looking into the team that I built for him, first up we have an offensive Crocodile. It's basically max attack, adamant, with a bit of speed to creep, I believe, Diggersby, with Stealth Rocks and Taunt to try and shut down things like the Registeel, although I can just Earthquake that, but more specifically the Mega Slowbro if it's setting up, the Clefable if it's setting up, Decidueye if it's setting up, that kind of thing. Taunt it, stop it from being a threat. Similarly for like Ordino if he brought that. Then Stealth Rocks, because rocks are nice to wield things like the Thunderous. Like I have 0 for Thunderous. Like if you look at my team, it can run 3 moves and hit literally everything on my team super effectively, on either the physical or the special side. So it could run like Thunderbolt, Focus Blast, and like what else did it need at that point? Thunderbolt, Focus Blast, and then like Dark Pulse or HP Ice. Probably Dark Pulse, and it can hit my entire team super effective damage. On the physical side, it can run like U-Turn, Superpower, and Wild Charge, and hit my entire team super effective damage. And on top of that, Thunderous is actually one of Jolt's Z-move users, so if he runs like Nasty Plot, he can not have to risk the Focus Blast Mist and run Fighting MZ or whatever, or if he runs Bulk Up, he can run, Z, whatever you want. So basically, Thunderous just 6-0s my team and it outspeeds everything, so there's not really much I can do to stop that. Mega Slowbro, I have nothing that can kill it, like, at all. If it gets up like 1 Carmine, it just wins. Diggersby I have no switch-ins to, because with Earthquake, Return, and Wild Charge, it again destroys my entire team. So that's fun. It can just run U-Turn to, U-Turn out on things like if I brought Serena or Crocodile, the slightly bulky might be able to take a hit. So I'm completely and utterly fucked this game. So yeah, I brought Offensive Crocodile with Leftovers, Intimidate, with Stealth Rock, Taunt, Earthquake, and Knockoff, just fairly standard. I brought especially Defensive Arcanine. I really considered going Banded Arcanine, but it just does not do enough to Mega Slowbro still. With Flare Blitz, E-Speed, Toxic, and Morning Sun. Toxic primarily for the Slowbro. I then have a Carmine Latias. This is my primary answer to potentially Carmine Clefable or Carmine Mega Slowbro, is to set up against them and try and win that war. With Thunderbolt and Psyshock, so I can beat either of those two. Also meant I could hit the Drapion if I needed to. I'm carrying the Colbur Berry, so if it is a special Thunderous, I can take a Dark Pulse from it and do a fair amount of damage with Psyshock. It's mixed defense EVs, it's like 184 in defense and 72 in special defense, I think, with a Calm Nature, something like that, and then max HP. A Rock Polish Terrakion with 3 attacks. Basically, if I can get rid of Slowbro, this thing can do big damage, so it's Rock Slide, Close Combat, and Poison Jab with Life Orb. That should be able to kill pretty much everything on his team except the Slowbro. Then I have a Choice Specs Pre-Marina, modest specs with enough speed for a 24 speed EV, or was that 24 or 28, whatever one works at level 50. Speed EV Decidueye, I think, which also covered my bases for like Hit on top and stuff like that. With Hydro Pump and Scald in case I don't want to miss a Hydro, Moonblast, and then Shadow Ball, because his only two water resists are the Slowbro and the Decidueye, and both those get hit super effectively by like Dark or Ghost. Then an AV Celesteela with EVs all over the place, mixed attacking with Rock Slide in case you brought Talonflame, Energy Ball, Heavy Slam, and Flamethrower. So, looking at what Jolt brought, he brought the three things that just sweep my team, and then what looks like a bit of bulk to support that. So, this is going to be a really, really tough one. I decided to lead off with the Crocodile because it has a decent-ish matchup against most things. Like, if he leads with Diggersby, I can at least intimidate it and potentially get some damage off. If he leads with Decidueye, obviously he's not going to want to stay in. If he leads with Slowbro, he might not want to stay in. If he leads with Radiance, he might not want to stay in. And if he leads with Thunderous, he probably won't want to risk like Focus Blast turn 1 or that kind of thing. So I can potentially get Rocks up, potentially taunt something. I figure Crocodile is an okay lead overall. And we see, so video is taking forever to load. Come on. So we are challenged by Pokemon Trainer Jolt. I send out my Crocodile, and we see that he actually leads with the Thunderous, and you're going to see a bunch of abilities go off here. Man, I wish I could speed this up, but OBS is shitting on me. And unfortunately, he is Defiant, which means I have even less switch-ins to this thing, because it means it's probably physical, and I have 2 Intimidators on my team. So he is just going to destroy everything in my team. There's not really anything I can do about it. So he just clicks U-turn, brings my Crocodile super low. So we actually DC'd at one point, and he got a slightly higher roll this time, but it's not going to matter because his first sequence of plays didn't change anything. So I go for the knockoff, wanting to see what he brings in, and we see that this Clefable he brings in is actually Life Orb, and from that damage, he looks to be more like probably max HP and maybe a little bit of bulk investment, but it could just be max special attack. So I decided to go for Stealth Rocks here, basically sacking off my Crocodile because I wanted Rocks up, and I didn't expect him to go for like Stealth Rocks or Thunder Wave or anything like that, so there's no point in going for Taunt. And honestly, Crocodile is kind of useless for most of the rest of his team because he can't really switch in too much. And if I switch into the Thunderous, then Thunderous just gets +1. So here I go into Celesteela, and this is a bit of an interesting one, so I'm just going to pause it here. This is actually the turn when we DC'd, and what happened on the original DC is it came up, you know, I chose to go into Celesteela, went into Celesteela, and my DS didn't let me pick a move. And then like a minute and a half later or whatever, I couldn't see a timer or anything, his Clefable switched out, and it randomly chose Heavy Slam for me as he switched in his Registeel, which you're going to see happen in a second. And then the following turn it said there was an error, communication error or whatever, so we restarted, but I didn't actually pick to go for Heavy Slam. I hadn't chosen what move I was going to go for, because once I realized I couldn't pick a move, I messaged Jolt and was like, I don't know what, I can't click anything. I potentially could have gone for like Flamethrower, it wouldn't have done much to Registeel, but I decided because, you know, there was probably like a 70% chance I would have gone for that anyway, we'd just play that out in the replay. So he does just go into his Registeel on this Heavy Slam. It's always a surprising amount, like Registeel is fat in both the fact that it is heavy and the fact that it has good defenses. So this Heavy Slam actually does quite a lot, considering all that. You know, Celesteela is pretty great. Now here I decided not to stay in and go for Flamethrower in case he like goes for Thunder Wave, or he could just get Rocks up, or really Flamethrower doesn't really do much to this Registeel. So I decided to switch out and go into my Arcanine and try and pressure it a little bit more. So I bring in the Arcanine, and unfortunately because I am faster, I will get the Intimidate off on the Registeel, which has Clear Body. And he actually pulled a double here, absolutely like predicting my ass off and going into the Diggersby. And now I have to sack something. So I figure he has no real reason not to just click Earthquake, because if I switch in anything else he can just, like at this point he's on top, I didn't think he'd go for big predictions, and because at this point he hasn't seen what my Arcanine could be, so I'm just going to pause it there again. If I was what I considered like the first Arcanine I built on this team was Adamant Choice Band, I would have had enough speed to outspeed Diggersby, and I would have just killed it with a Flare Blitz right here. But instead, he predicts that I am either bulky or thinks that he might be scarfed or whatever. Goes for U-turn, and I switch in my Latias, thinking he might want to go for Wild Charge, but you can Celesteela. But instead, he goes for U-turn that does so much damage. And at this point, I'm absolutely on the back foot. I'm getting fucked so hard. It's as if he's like got my team on a sheet and can just go, yeah, well, I know this is bulky, I know he's going to want to switch out, so I'll U-turn on it. Whereas if I was banded and I just OCO Diggersby, then like, yay, big threat gone. So here he goes into the Decidui. I figure this thing might be scarfed from the way he brought it in. Either way, I can't really kill it from where it's at because I am a bulkier set. So I decided to switch out, hoping he'll go for like a Spirit Shackle or a Leaf Blade or something, go back into the Arcanine, but no, he's just going to keep clicking U-turn on everything, because I don't really have a great switch-in. It has switch-ins to U-turn, but then he just goes straight back out into like Diggersby. And because a lot of Arcanine's bulk relies on it being Intimidate, and I can't get the Intimidates off on Diggersby, this is going bad. So here, right here, I figure, alright, well last time he made the play, so this time he's going to be worried that I'm going to predict him to make another play and stay in and get big damage off. So I'm like, okay, this time I'm going to switch out again, because a return is only a chance to kill me from this range, and he doesn't know how defensive I am probably. Like, you can't scout that perfectly in Wi-Fi, so like this time he's going to go for Earthquake, and I can get it, switch into my Latias and Roost up, and you know, he just goes for a turn and kills me, which was probably the best middle ground play. At this point I'm sort of trying to maybe get some momentum, but like, he just predicts everything I do. So here I go into my Terrakion, and I'm like, okay, this thing is a huge threat. He's going to go into Slowbro. This is the turn he's going to go into Slowbro. So I'm going to pull a double into my Primarina, because once he's in with Slowbro, I can fire off a Specs Hydro Pump. It should do a lot to Slowbro, and if he does switch, then I can get a lot of damage onto like Registeel. But no, he goes into Decidueye, which is also, you know, a fair switching if he was predicting close combat, but if I just Rock Polished up, then I kill this thing the following turn with a Rock Slide. So now I have to switch out again. I'm thinking, again, okay, he's been making plays every single turn, he's on top, he doesn't need to take any risks, and risk me being like scarfed and killing this thing, and he goes for U-turn again, and I could have just stayed in, fired off a Specs Hydro Pump, and two-shotted something on his team. But no, instead of switching out into Arcanine, he goes out into Diggersby, and like, I've lost, like, Diggersby gets another kill here, basically, and there's nothing I can do about it. Because if I switch into Stealer, he just goes for a turn followed by Wild Charge. I could like switch around and try and stall it out of Life Orb recoil, but like, that would eventually just result in everything on my team taking damage. So I decided to take the risk of him getting a roll on my Arcanine. It was a roll to kill from that point. And I figured, well, if I can live this roll, I'll kill him with a Flare Blitz afterwards, and Arcanine will go down, but so will Diggersby. So here, I bring in my Terrakion, and I'm like, right, he's going to try and preserve the 6-0, because that's what he should do at this point. So I'm going to Rock Polish up and hope he switches into something that isn't Slowbro, so I can potentially kill it. He goes into the table. I'm at +2 speed, and I'm going to fire off a Life Orb, Poison Jab, and if he is max HP, this should kill from the range he is at after the knockoff damage before. Instead, it does just under, so he must have a little bit of defense investment. He's going to fire off a Moonblast, but because we knocked off his Life Orb and because Terrakion is a beast, we do actually live this Moonblast on not much health, but, you know, not enough where I could fire off too many more hits. So I decided to go for the Rock Slide here in case he did try to preserve the 6-0 and switch out into something to take a Poison Jab a bit better. Honestly, I'm not sure why he didn't switch out into Slowbro there, because it can chew any hits of mine, and he could just switch it in and then fire off like a Scald and kill me or whatever. Here he goes into Diggersby, basically telling me he has Quick Attack, because otherwise I would just kill him to a close combat. But that's still my plays, just click close combat and hope he doesn't have it. But he does. Meaning he doesn't even have Earthquake, which makes me really upset, because he was Return, Quick Attack, Wild Charge, and U-turn. So yeah, he didn't have Earthquake, and I could have stayed in with Arcanine much earlier. Anyway, he doesn't have Earthquake, and that means I just lose to Diggersby. At this point, I go into Celesteela because it has slightly more HP, and I'm hoping that I can get him to tie to the combination of Life Orb plus Wild Charge recoil to at least get one more kill. And he is going to live on a Sliver, so he's also going to be able to take out my Primarina. I just switch in here, and there's no way I live any hit from this Diggersby. He just goes for a turn and just OCOs my Primarina right here. So we got our arse absolutely handed to us today, and you know, it happens. Jolt's good, he had team matchup, and yeah. So next week we'll be facing off against Shardy, so we're going to have to try not to get 6-0'd again, because Shardy's team similarly destroys mine. I feel like a lot of teams destroy mine, but you know, whatever, that's fine. Yeah, so maybe we can meme on Shardy in, like we did at the end of last season. You know, I'm surprisingly unupset about this game. Like, I kind of, when I started building, was like, well, I'm gonna lose, and didn't exactly build the greatest either. So it happens. DC was unfortunate, but didn't actually like change anything. It was just kind of frustrating sitting there being like, I can't choose a move for like 3 minutes, and it was super laggy. But that happens. That's why Wi-Fi is inferior to Showdown. Showdown should just be better. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. I don't think the Toucannons are going to be going for a championship this season. Just saying. I'm just not really feeling it, honestly. But you know, we can still upset a few people. If we get some hacks, some lucky wins, we'll still fuck some people up, and that'll be good. So I hope you guys did enjoy. Remember all the stuff in the description, PPL channel, stuff like that. I promise their content is way better than mine, so make sure to go check it out. Also go check out Jolt. I didn't do a ramble about him, but he's actually like a really cool dude. He recorded this match for me, which is really nice. He also runs the token minorities, like tournaments, like March Madness, stuff like that, helps to run those, which I was going to be a part of, and then a bunch of uni shit came down, and I basically was not going to have time. Third year uni sucks, guys. Anyway, he also, you know, he did the draft player rankings thing, which I think I was put way too high on, but that's beside the point. I mean, at the time for 6th gen, I think I probably deserved that high, but at the moment I'm really not playing well. Anyway, and yeah, so Jolt's a really cool guy. Go check out his channel in the description. Also, thanks to Bird, who's one of the PPL analysts, for genning this team for me so I can play on Wi-Fi. You know, without people recording matches and genning teams, we can't do this. So it's really, really helpful that those guys, you know, they get no recognition. So make sure you go check Bird out as well. And yeah, I think that's everything. So I hope you guys did enjoy, and I'll see you in my next upload.